Russia. A name that conjures images of vastness and mystery. Just the name makes you think of a huge place, a land so expansive that it spans 11 time zones, stretching from the icy Arctic in the north to the temperate shores of the Black Sea in the south. This is a land shaped by hundreds of years of good times and bad times, of emperors and rebels, of art and war. The echoes of its tumultuous past can still be felt today, resonating through its culture and its people. From the freezing lands of Siberia, where temperatures can plummet to unimaginable lows, to the busy streets of Moscow, a city that never seems to sleep, Russia is a land of contrasts. Russia's story is told across a space as big as the country itself. Each region, each city, each village has its own unique tale to tell, contributing to the rich tapestry of Russian history. This is a history that goes back over 1,000 years, a history that has seen the rise and fall of empires, the clash of cultures, and the blending of traditions. A story made up of many different cultures and empires, from the early Slavic tribes to the powerful Tsardom of Russia and later the Soviet Union. Imagine Vikings sailing down icy rivers, their boats full of furs and amber, trading with the local tribes and establishing new settlements. Their boats full of furs and amber, these intrepid explorers and traders played a crucial role in the early history of Russia. Picture the shiny gold domes of churches, their bells ringing across snowy lands, calling the faithful to prayer and marking the passage of time. Their bells ringing across snowy lands, these churches are not just places of worship, but symbols of the enduring spirit of the Russian people. Think of the fierce Mongol warriors riding across the plains, their empire stretching all the way from the Pacific Ocean to Eastern Europe. The Mongols left an indelible mark on the history of Russia. These are just quick peeks into the exciting and complicated history of Russia, a land where every stone has a story to tell, and every story is a thread in the grand tapestry of its past. A story we'll try to understand together as we delve into the depths of Russia's past and uncover the events that have shaped its present. Our journey starts over 1,200 years ago, in the early medieval period, with the rise of a new power in the east, Kievan Rus. A federation of Slavic tribes that would lay the foundations for the Russian state. It's a story of change, toughness, and lasting power that still affects the world today. From its ancient beginnings to its modern-day presence, Russia's history is a testament to the resilience and strength of its people. The year is 882. This year marks a significant turning point in the history of Eastern Europe. A group of Scandinavian fighters called Varangians, led by the famous Rurik, take control of the Slavic people living around what is now Novgorod. These Varangians, also known as Vikings, were not just raiders but also traders and settlers. This is when Ruses was founded, a group of East Slavic tribes. The Varangians and the Slavs began to merge, creating a new cultural and political entity. These early towns, connected by rivers and trade routes, became the start of a powerful new country. The rivers served as the main highways, facilitating trade and communication between different regions. Then comes Vladimir the Great, a really important ruler. Vladimir was a visionary leader who understood the importance of unifying his people under a single religion. In 988, Vladimir makes a big decision. He decides to convert to Orthodox Christianity, influenced by the grandeur and sophistication of the Byzantine Empire. He becomes an Orthodox Christian and convinces his people to do the same. This mass conversion was a monumental event involving the baptism of thousands of his subjects in the Dnieper River. This changes Russia's culture and beliefs forever. The adoption of Orthodox Christianity brought with it new forms of art, architecture, and religious practices. Orthodox Christianity, with its beautiful art, buildings, and traditions, becomes a big part of being Russian. The construction of magnificent cathedrals and the creation of intricate icons became central to Russian identity. The Cyrillic alphabet, borrowed from the Byzantine Empire, helps create Russian writing and culture. This new script allowed for the translation of religious texts and the development of a rich literary tradition. Vladimir's choice is still important today, with the Orthodox Church still a big part of Russian life. The legacy of his decision continues to influence Russian society, culture, and spirituality. The 1200s bring a time of trouble and change. From the east, a new power shows up, the Mongol Empire. Led by Genghis Khan and his followers, the Mongols conquer many lands, reaching the edges of Ruses by the 1220s. The Mongol invasion is terrible, cities are destroyed and many people die. For over 200 years, the Rus' princes are forced to obey the Mongol Golden Horde. But even this bad time has some good parts. The Mongols, even though they were cruel, also bring a time of peace and stability across their huge empire. This peace helps trade and sharing of ideas between East and West. Also, the Mongols, with their organized government, actually help Moscow become more powerful, a city that will later become super important for Russia. As the Mongols lose power over Rus, their once mighty empire begins to crumble. The Mongol yoke, which had dominated the Russian principalities for centuries, starts to weaken. This decline in Mongol authority creates a power vacuum, and the various Russian principalities begin to vie for dominance. Among these, one principality stands out. A new power grows stronger. This power is Moscow, a city that was once just a small settlement but is now on the rise. The strategic location of Moscow, nestled among several rivers, makes it a prime candidate for growth and influence. Moscow, located where several rivers meet, becomes more important. Its smart rulers, who are adept at navigating the complex political landscape, see an opportunity to expand their influence. They use their position to control trade routes and collect taxes, which brings wealth and power to the city. These rulers often collect taxes for the Mongols, a task that not only enriches them but also gives them a certain degree of autonomy. This relationship with the Mongols, while initially one of subservience, becomes a stepping stone for Moscow's rise. By the late 1400s, under the leadership of Ivan III, Moscow's ambitions grow even bolder. Ivan III, also known as Ivan the Great, is a visionary leader who sees the potential for Moscow to become the center of a unified Russian state. Under Ivan's rule, Moscow breaks free from the Mongols, declaring its independence and asserting its sovereignty. This moment is a turning point in Russian history, marking the end of Mongol dominance and the beginning of Moscow's rise as a major power. Moscow begins to call itself the Third Rome, a bold claim that positions it as the successor to the Byzantine Empire. This idea is not just about political power but also about spiritual and cultural leadership. The new center of power after the Byzantine Empire, Moscow adopts many of its symbols and traditions. This connection to the Byzantine legacy helps to legitimize Moscow's claims to leadership and influence. Ivan III builds a strong central government. He reforms the administration, strengthens the military, and consolidates his power. These efforts lay the foundation for a centralized Russian state. He makes Moscow's territory bigger, expanding its borders through conquest and diplomacy. This expansion not only increases Moscow's power, but also its resources and influence. Ivan adopts the double-headed eagle as the symbol of Russia, a powerful emblem that represents the unity of church and state. This symbol becomes a lasting icon of Russian sovereignty and ambition. He also starts the tradition of having one powerful ruler. The title Tsar, which comes from the Roman Caesar, signifies the ruler's supreme authority and ambition to emulate the great empires of the past. The title Tsar, which comes from the Roman Caesar, becomes the name for the Russian ruler. This title is not just a name but a declaration of Moscow's imperial aspirations. It signifies Moscow's dreams of becoming an empire, a vision that will shape the future of Russia for centuries to come. Moscow's transformation from a small principality to a powerful tsardom is a monumental shift in Russian history. It marks the beginning of a new era, one where Moscow will play a central role in the destiny of the Russian people. Moscow becoming powerful is a huge moment in Russian history. It signifies the end of a fragmented and divided land and the emergence of a unified and strong state. It means the end of a time when the country was divided into numerous principalities, each vying for power and influence, and the start of a united Russia, a nation ready to grow even bigger and stronger. This unification under Moscow's leadership sets the stage for the future expansion and consolidation of the Russian Empire. Ready to grow even bigger and stronger, Moscow's rise to power is not just a story of political maneuvering but also one of cultural and spiritual significance. It is the dawn of a new era, one that will see Russia emerge as a major player on the world stage. If you enjoyed this journey through history, please like the video and subscribe to the channel for more captivating stories from around the world.